I came up with this title. And then I realized why did my mind say, come up with this title of saying, okay, going deep with Pradeep Soundararajan. It's because most of the testing that I've been discovering has been very shallow testing. Most of the tests that I see, most of the bug reports that I see, that I've been seeing over the last 14 years that I have been a tester, I see that most of these are very shallow thinking and shallow testing and shallow reporting. The missing piece in this industry is about going deep. Because anybody you bring in, they would think the shallow way, because that's how everybody begins, right? But going deep is the hardest. Now, going deep, comparing to going deep in an ocean, you can possibly swim on the surface. If you know swimming, you can swim on the surface. You can, if you want to look inside the water and swim for a long time, probably you need an apparatus, something like a snorkeling, thing, where you're breathing, but you're still seeing the water, and you're seeing the life inside, which is beautiful. If you have not done snorkeling and you've been doing testing for a long time, you're missing something. Please go find a place to do snorkeling. Then the second level is, let's say, a scuba diving, right? So if you know, or if you are trained to do scuba diving, you would go deeper into the ocean, which helps you discover things that you would have never seen on the surface. And then is about even the scuba diving, right? You can only go to a certain depth. So if you want to go deeper, there are things like, let's say, a submarine, right? And that helps you go deeper. Now there are people that are, I don't know. I'm not a naval expert, but I'm just saying these things, that possibly you still can't go deep to the ocean bed with some of the submarines. So you need some special apparatus, like, let's say, would it be possible for you to close that door? Which yeah, right. So so you'd have seen this movie Titanic, where they send one special apparatus inside which goes and investigates the what did you say? Robot. The robot, which would go deep inside the sunken ship and try to discover the necklace, and Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio and all that stories, which you, if you were at a surface, you would not be able to discover them. In testing, it's most of the people are actually swimming on the ocean. So if somebody says, oh, I've been to the Pacific Ocean, I've been to the Atlantic Ocean, I've been to the Indian Ocean, yes, and also they say that, right, known is a drop, unknown is an ocean. That's because it's very hard to cover the ocean. You can do a surface covering, but even then it's very hard for you to trace all the routes. So going deep in testing is very similar to going deep in an ocean. And it's very few people who have gone deep. Very few people who have gone deep. Why haven't many people gone deep? A, because it's hard. B, you need some more tools and other stuff. C is, you must dare to go deep. You need to be trained to go deep. You can't just say, okay, I have money, I'll book a ride in submarine, and I will go in a submarine. Below I will touch the seabed and come back. No, it's not possible. right? So you need training, you need to dare, you need to have the necessary support, the life support, all of these things, and of course it's a risk. Now, how many of us have fear of heights, fear of drowning, fear of a lot of these things, right? So it is. Oh yeah, okay, Nitesh, you have what? You have a fear of heights? Yeah, fear of heights. Okay. Yeah. I was looking at some skydiving videos yesterday night, and I thought, yeah, these guys are crazy, right? They're actually jumping, although there's a parachute. Yeah, of course. So we as humans have inherit a lot of fears, and this fear prevents us from going deep. Now, why do people go deep? Why do people go deep? They see a different world in the depth, right? They see a different world. And what do these people do when they go deep is they bring you those stories. Each one of us have sat countless hours in front of National Geographic or a Discovery Channel watching the amazing beauty of the depth of the ocean, the different kinds of fishes that are there, the different kinds of shrimps and crabs and light emitting, not the diodes, light emitting fishes and electric eels and all of those fantasy, right? Which is also the reason why the movie Finding Nemo was a big success, because we were like fascinated by the depth of the ocean and the kind of the stories that happen inside. So according to me, people who go deep want to go deep again and again and again. It's like Nitish, once you jump from a plane with a parachute, of course, and the parachute works, and you go through that journey, you go through that enjoyment, you want to do it again and again and again. And the only thing that prevents you from doing it again and again and again is the money, right? But you want to do it again and again and again. So given an option, given some free tickets, we would love to be in Las Vegas right now, right? I mean, if I had said, let's do this workshop in Las Vegas, everybody would say, yay, let's go there, let's go there. So we all know that there is a beauty that we have not discovered if we go deep. But we have these inabilities in terms of a fear, in terms of the lack of training, lack of apparatus, lack of tools, technology, support system, and all of these things. So I have been fortunate to have had some of these things, right? And I have gone a little bit of depth. Why do I say so? It's because very few people who agree with me. When I talk about testing, when I talk about certain things, people say, no, that's not testing. That's not the way you're supposed to be doing. This is not the way. Like, for example, yesterday, I had actually posted about how I saved 40 people's lives using my testing and applying that to the lift that was operating in my apartment. And somebody tagged Rex Black, and Rex Black commented saying that there's nothing about testing in this. So there are people in this world who will not agree with you, who might not have gone to the depth, or maybe they are far deeper than me. I don't know, right? Maybe they're far deeper than me. They see a different world. I see a different world, and that's possibly why they're not able to connect. So I am talking about. So if you ask me, how was the floor? How was the ocean floor? Right? I might have gone to the depth where it's 4 kilometers. Okay, somebody would be at 11 kilometers. And they would say, oh, 11 kilometers is damn dark. Okay, nothing works out there. I would say at 4 kilometers, wow, what a beautiful life out there. And they'll say, life? There's no life out there. There's absolutely nothing out there. So it's about the depth that you go to. You bring in your own experience of of life, and in the testing context, um, you would be talking very differently from most of the people swimming on the surface. If you are talking today where people are agreeing to you most of the times, that means you might be at the radar that they are. And I've come to understand over the years that not everybody are suited for the depth. Some people are suited for the surface, and it's nothing wrong. I'm not ridiculing people who are swimming on the surface. I'm just saying there are enough number of people swimming on the surface that even if you don't exist, there will be somebody who will be swimming on the surface. But there aren't enough people at the depth. So it's very important for you to start thinking, where do you want to fit in? Okay, I'll tell you why. Because if you want to fit into the surface, where there are enough number of people, okay, think about it. There are about 1 lakh people, okay, fighting for a 10 lakh fish out there. So each of you get 1 lakh. I'm very strong at mathematics, so if I go absolutely right with those numbers, okay, pardon me. I'm hoping I'm getting my company numbers right these days. So there is a type of fish there, and there are enough number of people competing for that fish. It's not that we go to the depth to catch the fish. Nobody needs to go deep, 11 kilometers inside to catch a blue whale and then bring that up, right? It's not that. I'm talking metaphorically. So if you want to play the surface game, you must understand it's a different kind of a game. If you want to play the depth game, why am I talking about depth? Is because many testers want to become good at it. They want to become good at it. Fear comes in between, the organization that they choose to work comes in between, the colleagues come in between, all that is the secondary. But they want to do good, right? Everybody wants to do good. But the question here is about, if you want to do good, it means you have to scan the surface. You have to scan the mid layer. You also have to go deep. Now, initially, when you are young in the testing space, if you're actually swimming on the surface, it's fine. But as and when you slowly age, you don't age, your body ages, right? As and when your body slowly ages, what happens is you start to call yourself experienced. We don't want to be called a fresher. It's like insulting, right? You want to be called experienced. So you go to a company and say, I'm an experienced tester. And what does that mean? That should ideally mean I can go deeper, right? Okay, that I can go deeper. But what has happened is people, irrespective of their experience, they are actually at the top. So what happens if a lot of experienced people are still stuck at the top? They don't let the young ones swim good. So in most of the companies, the leads who have half-baked knowledge deter the growth of anybody junior coming and working with them. So I was consulting for a company in 2011, and this is one of the largest IT services company in one of the largest IT services company in India. They had a huge challenge. They wanted to transform testing. And the ones that they freshly recruited were all energetic about the change. And they would go, but the lead would say, that's not how it works. Okay, that's not how it works. This is the way it works. So the one who is new into the team says something, oh, okay, we could do this. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Now what happens is a repeated conditioning of your brain of that's not how it works. The next person who comes in and tries to do something creatively, you would say, that's not how it works. So you all would have heard of this story that you put a monkey inside a cage, and every time it goes near the banana, you beat the monkey, right? And then you put in the second monkey tries to go, the first monkey is afraid to go near the banana. Second monkey goes, and you again, beat it. And by the time you put the third monkey, those two monkeys start to beat the third monkey, saying, that's not how it works. Don't go eat the banana there. I see this is the way we are breeding systems in even small, medium, and large companies. So, for me, when I try to consult for them, the biggest barrier didn't come from the ones who are like fresh. I love people with fresh minds. But the ones who think I know how it works were actually deterring the transformation of this company. So my time had to be mostly spent with these people. And I think that was such a useful thing for my experience, because that's like, for me, it's like going to a little bit of the depth. So I go to the depth. I was asked to swim in the depth and help people who are at the depth, and I found out that there was nobody in the depth. Everybody was there. And I could see them. I'm calling them, come inside, come inside. And they're wearing scuba diving equipment because they are experienced and swimming on the surface, right? They're swimming on the surface wearing scuba diving. I'm saying, why? You don't need to do that. No, it's like, no, it's very safe out here, right? It's very safe out here. And what do most experienced people look at? Job security. Job security, right? They say, oh, wearing this, scuba gives me the security that I will not drown. I'll not run out of oxygen. And even if I don't know swimming, with my oxygen tank, I can continue to swim. Or I can continue to be alive. Right? So, what's been happening in this industry is there are very few people at the depth of the testing. Now I see a lot of experts. I've been coached by people like James Bach, Michael Bolton. And I've learned a lot from my colleagues in the testing space, like you should know, Ben Simo. There's been a lot of people that I've learned from. These people are at the depth. We all admire them. We all admire them. But when it comes to implementing the depth in our organizations, we face a lot of obstacles. While we admire them, while we want to go deeper, there are situations and things that prevent us from going deep. So that's the reason why I wanted to invite you all in this workshop. I'm calling it a workshop. Okay, let's discover by the end of the day if it becomes a workshop. On going deep in testing. And I have I've kind of helped people in the past to go a little bit deep in their own directions, in their own chosen paths. And that's also one of the reasons why I thought that I should invite more and more people to taste the depth. So this is a free ride, a free scuba dive into the ocean of testing. And that's the reason why I chose the topic, going deep in testing with Pradeep Soundararajan. Right? Isn't that a cool explanation for just a simple, beautiful title? Nice. Okay. Are any issues that I should be aware of online?
People are using
Okay, people using the Mulya G Wi-Fi, please, if you could, disconnect, because we are using that for streaming, and we are streaming. We're trying to stream at 720p, and that's causing a little bit of buffering or something. Yeah, buffering. Okay. 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 Oh, okay. Too many people connected. Yes. 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 Let's. Okay. Disconnect. Even you can disconnect this one. I'm going to close this. Right. Okay. And you got to tell me once you have the. You can tell me. You can interrupt me. You can say, Pradeep, something is not going right online, and okay, it's going good right now.
Yes.
It's good. Okay. Great. Great. Okay. Okay. So that's good. And I see some red symbol here blinking. What is that?
Red is stream for the internet, yellow is okay, green is good.
So should we switch this to the second floor?
No, it will be when this is better actually.
This is better. Okay. Are you able to?
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine. Great. Awesome. Okay. So so any questions before we start off about going deep? Are you? If you don't have questions, I'll ask you questions. Do you think you have tried going deeper? You have tried going deeper anytime? You have tried? Okay, you have tried going deep? Okay, some of you haven't even tried going deep? You have tried? You have tried? Okay, slowly. Okay, I have to echo it out. Okay, no worries. So you've tried to go deep. Okay, Nitesh, I'll ask you, can you explain your approach of trying to go deep?
Yeah. So I have been working with server-side performance.
Okay.
So whenever I see there are some lags in the response time in respect to the previous release,
Mm-hmm.
I try to dig down what's the issue which is causing the response time to go a little bit higher. So
Okay.
I go into the monitoring tools, I get the responses, what are the things causing it, network latency,
Mm-hmm.
what can be the features in the server error logs.
Okay.
I used to find it out.
Okay. Is that so? That's oh, thank you. So that's your okay idea of going deep, right? Okay. Here is the here is a thought for you to think about. It is usually good to first understand what depth is. Okay, because you could be going deep, like I said. You could be going deep, and you're swimming at the seashore, and you hit the bed fast. So, many people their learning saturates. Okay, not just because they're actually swimming on the surface. It's that they're swimming closer to the seashore, and they touch the bed faster. They touch the seabed faster. So you are thinking. A deep thinking is good. You're not just concluding based on whatever you're seeing. You're saying that whenever the response times go high, I try to sit and think. Now, okay, here's something for you to think about, okay, on this topic. How do you know you're thinking deep enough? Your thought process is guided by what you've learned, what you've seen, what you've heard, right? And what you think you've experienced. Now, if this is shallow, you think you might be going deep, but you're still at the surface. You're still at the surface. So it's important for you, okay, to understand first what is depth. Okay, for that you can try different approaches. You could get a mentor who has gone to the depth. Now, you got to be very careful about mentors. Just because somebody knows a little bit more than you does not mean they're a mentor, right? But we all make these mistakes of choosing a mentor, slowly oh my gosh kind of stuff. So in whatever chosen space, you should find out people who have gone to the depth. Okay, for example, you are on the performance server side of performance testing, right? Do you know a guy called Scott Barber? No, right? So Scott Barber has been very active for many years on performance testing, sharing a lot of performance testing experience that he has been having across. He has had his own consultancy, Perf Test Plus, through which he has consulted a lot of customers and faced a lot of different kinds of performance testing issues. So, and he has also been publishing his experience reports, and he's been speaking at conferences. His videos are online. And then there is this guy. Why go that far? Why go to Scott Barber? Of course, we should go to Scott Barber. Why go to Scott Barber alone? There's a guy, Rahul Verma, who has also been actively talking about it. And then it's not just these two guys. There are plenty of people who have been sharing these things. So if you want to go deep, the only people who can guide you to go deep is people who are already deep inside. So you can use their experience. Okay. Otherwise, what happens is you will be the Nemo who will wants to go and touch the boat. Touch the butt. The Nemo says it's the butt, so I'm using it. Touch the butt, but you might be pulled off. Right? Okay, you might be pulled off. So it's important for you to find these people first, right? And then read them. It takes time to build expertise, Nitesh. It takes a long time to build expertise. All of us want to be good right at day one. Not possible, not possible. And whenever most people get feedback, they run away. Ooh, somebody's thinking I'm bad. I have to always be in a place where I'm, considered as actually good. I think you should be in a place where you're considered not good enough and have the support system to improve. So you should, and that support system is actually people like these who have already shared these things, and you should write to them saying, hey, here is how I thought when the response time went high. Can you point me to something that you've already published? You've already published, which helps me think deeper. And when you see their deep thought process, you will be amazed at how much more you could have thought for the same thing. Right? Okay, otherwise what happens is, as I said, you think deep, you think you're thinking deep, and that's a grave mistake that a lot of testers do. So find people who have published their experience reports, follow them, read everything about whatever they've actually published, frame your own ideas, ask them questions, and your responsibility towards this world is, if you go 1 inch deeper than they have gone, it's your responsibility to help 1,000 Nitesh Chaubes out there who want to go deep. Because I'll tell you what, the reason why a lot of people don't go to the depth is it feels damn lonely. It feels damn lonely. Right? The more deeper, on the surface, you'll see a lot of people, swimming with, hey buddy, hey, gossip, hello, hi, this company is not good, that company is not good, right? There's recession all around, right? But when you go deep, you're all alone. And you would want to, and when somebody wants to swim to the depth, you will welcome them with such a beautiful heart that you would have not had that heart in the surface, because there you're competing with people, and here you are supporting people to go deeper, because that's what the industry needs. Yeah? Got it? So that's the first going deep tip from Pradeep. Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you. Yes. Okay. So, for those who join in between or a bit late, I was explaining why I chose this a topic of going deep in testing, and I was metaphorically saying that it's like going deep in an ocean. It's very hard to go deep, and it's very hard to sustain yourself there because you need oxygen. You can't carry all the oxygen that you need, so you got to keep coming back to the surface, which is in a way good, right? You have to be humble once in a while, Nitish, right? I mean, that's a reminder to myself, because if I enjoy the depth and I don't understand the surface, I get, I disconnect with from where I came from, right? Okay, great. So, okay, anybody else? Okay, how have you tried going to the depth of the ocean of testing?
Okay, actually, I tried to solve some of the issues which are facing by my sales team.
Okay.
In order to generate the leads, they're using some data collection tools and all.
Okay.
What I've done is I automated the tools.
You automated the tools, okay?
With a very basic idea of testing and no idea with automation.
Okay.
I tried to achieve it, like 45% I was success.
Okay.
Later on, like
Okay, great. I'm glad you're talking about it, but I need to ask you this question. Why is it that people think automation means going the yeah. So you're saying I jumped into the ocean and I saw a lot of people struggling, and I gave them this snorkeling device, right? That's what you did. Snorkeling device. Yes. It could be my phone. Yeah, it is too close. Yeah, great. Okay. See? Okay. Good. Yeah. But the audio video is okay so far.
the video is getting better, but the static sound is coming.
Oh, the static sound is coming. Okay, great. Yeah. So yeah. So for me, are you recording a video? We're going to be publishing a YouTube link with the full video, so you can choose to enjoy, without having to record. Okay, thank you. Great. So, so the point is, yes, you try to help them, but you try to help them stay in surface more happily. So to me, automation, the way most people think about it, is a comfortable surface swimming place. So instead of you having to take your head out to breathe, you have a snorkeling device where you can put your head under the water, but still you're getting the supply of oxygen, you're breathing through your mouth. Okay? Expand a little bit on that. You said your sales team was doing a lot of manual hard work,
Yeah, manual.
and you automated it.
Yeah.
Wow, brilliant. Okay. Why did you do that?
In order to ease their work, and like I'm
Good. Okay, look at this. In order to ease their work, the moment you joined it, they complained to you that, oh man, this is so boring.
No, nothing like that. But I felt like
You felt. This is called meddling with the nature. Somebody is happy swimming, right? Okay, somebody is happy swimming. You say, oh, no, hold on. I'll give you a board on which you can float. 1 year later, they forget swimming, and nature removes the board. And they're like, oh, save me, save me. So many times I've seen this. Even in my own company sometimes. There is no exception here. People want to become automation testers. Like, I want to learn Selenium, I want to learn APM, whatever the damn tool that people are asking for. 2 years down the lane, they forget testing. They forget testing. And then you remove automation out of them and ask them to test. They have no idea of testing. They have no clue what to do in life. If you remove all the tools from them, they're like, oh, I don't want to. This is like, okay, manual swimming. Manual swimming. I don't want to do manual swimming. It's a lot of effort. It requires skill. It requires my human body to be in shape, which my body is not. It requires my mind to be focused and sharp to be able to cross through a long distance, which my mind is not. So how can I swim? And they think the manual swimming is for people who are young. 5 years in the industry, if I don't know tools, I don't get job, which is what many people think. And they want to latch onto this board or the speed board, and they forget swimming. So yes, but at the same time, I'll tell you what should people do about automation. Now that you automated whatever they were doing so-called manually, what did they do? Did the number of leads shoot up all of a sudden?
No.
No. That's the beauty of it. If automation is helping your testing become better, then after applying automation, your overall product quality should have jumped phenomenally. Although I'm not saying testing equals product quality improvement, I'm saying overall the knowledge you have about your product should have quadrupled. The value you as testers are able to contribute should have quadrupled, but I don't see it happen. The more automation is applied in most places, the more dumber testers become. It's because, you know why? They weren't actually struggling because there was no automation. They were struggling because they don't know testing. So, somebody doesn't know swimming. You're giving them a float board. What will they do with it? You think they will use that to learn swimming?
No.
They will use that just to survive. That's all. That's what is happening. That's exactly what's happening. So, you need, who needs and deserves automation? It's someone who really knows the subject. If someone is able to go to the depth of 11 kilometers and they want to go towards the 12th kilometer, a special tool, a robotic, a special apparatus, a new oxygen cylinder can help them. But somebody who wants to wear the scuba diving apparatus and enjoy the surface of the water, that's the way it is right now. I don't think they need automation, although they would say they need automation, which also means people will say they need a lot of things that they don't need. But for the sake of industry, so how many of your projects or organizations transition to agile, DevOps, because the world was transitioning? Do we have any waterfall testers here? Waterfall testers, rainfall testers, anybody? Nobody? Wow, seriously? Do you know how many projects I know even today which are actually waterfall, but they call themselves agile? Don't you see that? You see that? So we are now this is what about going to the depth means. If you go to your project manager and say, dude, you know what? We are not agile. say, how dare you say that? How dare you say that? We're doing Scrum, we're doing 2-week sprints, we're doing all of that stuff. We're doing everything that we can make people believe that it's agile. And you would say, no, I know what agile is. This is not the way. Where is the customer? Where is the collaboration? Where is people over processes? Where is all that? And if you say these things, probably, I mean, depending on the culture of the company, depending on the culture of the country where the company is located, depending on the branch where you are, depending on the team that you are, depending on the colleagues, depending on your manager and his boss, you might be called to a meeting room to discuss further about your career prospects. So you go deep, they say, how dare you go deep? Okay, come up. Because their fishing rods aren't fishing, they're fishing people who are going deeper. Right? So you've been swimming and you want to go deep. And the people who are swimming on the surface have fishing rods because they have to eat, right? And their whatever hooks they have, it's actually catching you. And it's oh, I caught a heavy one. I caught a heavy one. Of course they caught a heavy one, but it's a wrong one. So, and now what happens to you is, now is where your culture, your fears, your aspiration, your vision, all of this is actually put under test. Your courage is not put under test in a normal, happy situation. Your courage is put under test that the moment you go a little deep, there is a shark that will come, close by to you. Zzz, it'll come. Surface was way better. Although the sharks can also come to the surface. But the only advantage with the surface is the shark has a lot of options in the surface. In the depth, you are the only option there. So you feel safer there. Although there's a risk there also in the surface, you feel safer not going to the depth, because there are a lot of other options for the shark. But in the depth, you're like the only option. The shark comes and says, wow, look at that guy, right? So you build your fears, the way. Now what I've been discovering through Mulya is that the way people are brought up at their homes make a significant impact to the way they think and test. So I should revolutionarily start interviewing parents instead of interviewing people in Mulya. I should say, okay, tell me, when your child tried to fail in the exam or failed in the exam, what did you say to your children? Say, how dare you? Okay, your child is not in Mulya anymore. So I think that these things are impacting us quite a lot and we don't realize it. We don't realize it. And when I apply this to my own life, I realize that at home, I was allowed to be a rebel. I was allowed to think different, which is also the reason why I have been able to do a few things. I'm not taking pride necessarily in what I have done so far. I'm just telling that probably that's the reason why this actually suited me. So now the responsibility for you is how important it is in your life to go to the depth. Can you shun all the baggage that you have gained all through living your life for 25 years, 30 years, 35 years, I don't know your age. Can you shun all that baggage and be focused on going towards the depth? It's only those who are ready to shun the baggage who will go to the depth. If not going to the depth is okay for you, right, then you will, by the law of nature, you will go to some depth at some time in life. That's because you're heavy, you're becoming heavy, right? You're becoming heavy. They say, oh, the more fat you are, the better you can swim. Ask all the people who are fat and try to learn swimming. They would say, oh no, come on, right? So I think that we have a lot of baggage that we have accumulated by the way we have been brought up, by the country that we are born, by the culture that we have, and the culture of the company as well, which is one of the reasons why my job, I think, in Mulya or in the other company that I have, which is Apache, my job as a founder is to only focus on the culture of the company, the way people think, the way people don't think, the reasons why people don't think in a certain way. Okay, because I think each one of us here are smart people, but it's these baggages that are holding us from not going deeper. It's something that we have. We are actually built with the flotation devices which don't sink. So we have a life jacket all the time, and if you have a life jacket, you can't go to the depth. And removing the life jacket is very hard, because it's, hey, you will lose your life. But if you don't risk, or if you don't shun your baggage, you will be stuck at the surface. You should be okay with it. I'm not saying that's wrong. You should be okay with it. Don't attempt, I would say this, don't attempt depth. Don't attempt depth. Enjoy the beauty. Just you anyway have a life jacket. Just to stay still there, see the chaos that's happening around you. Be like a Buddha. Seriously, you will enjoy. There is life, even at the surface. There is life at the depth. They are different lives. That's all. If you want to be at the surface, I have a particular career advice for you. Don't bother about money. At the surface and at the depth, don't bother about money. In between, you need to. At the depth, even if you have more money, there aren't any Nair or chai shops there for you to at the seabed for you to buy a chai. You would mostly be investing in apparatus, in tools, and things like that, right? Somebody who's very passionate about photography, you give them a bonus of 50,000, they would go buy a lens, right? So somebody who has a girlfriend or a boyfriend, they would buy something for the girlfriend and boyfriend, depending on the stage at which they are with that girlfriend and boyfriend, right? So I think there is life everywhere, and you must be very clear of where you want to be. Can you shun your baggage and attempt the depth? And if you want to attempt the depth, you will face the sharks, you will face the whales, which will intimidate you just by the presence of it. You will face these electric eels, where you will actually would say, "Oh, so nice eel!" Book, it'll shock you. You don't have an ambulance coming in between to save you there, so you might die. Which you should be okay with. Because you believe in spirituality when you go to the depth. At the surface, you believe in everything else. You believe in the oxygen that's available to you. Deep down, you have less of oxygen, you have less of hope. Now, for you who don't like to talk about water, if you have seen the movie Gravity, yeah, you all have seen Gravity, exactly. So that's also a very similar situation. You have to believe, you have to hope, you have to aspire, you have to perspire, you have to face through a lot of tough things in life. And Sandra Bullock says, "Oh, I had a child, one day I got a call, XYZ." A lot of such pain that people have gone through to get there. And she was all alone. There is nobody to motivate you. There's nobody to tell you have done good. Only if you're okay with all of those things is when you should attempt the depth. You should attempt the space. Otherwise, attempting depth can be more dangerous than tobacco, because it'll be a slow, painful death. Oof. So that's the thing about automation and depth and whom to help with automation and whom not to help with automation. Don't ease the job of people who don't know what they're doing. That way, if they become free, they'll damage you because they don't know what to do. They're not okay. If somebody comes to you and says, "I want to go to the depth, and I'm stuck by this particular activity," and you can say, "Hey, don't worry, I can help you automate that." If it can be, okay, but I'm not saying that all tasks that the humans are doing, okay, can be automated. Okay, great. Okay, what else? What have you tried in terms of the depth?
In the initial years of my testing career,
You can sit. You can sit. Yeah.
I started with stable testing.
Mhm.
Over the 4 years, in 2 different companies, it happened to be with the same technology, but in a different versions.
Okay.
So when I began in the first year,
Mhm.
it was all the UI-related testing I was doing.
Okay.
Test case available either already or I am writing.
Yeah.
And I got a chance to work on almost all the modules of the Sable in the first year. But later on, over the years, it was the same thing.
Okay.
So what I thought, by learning how exactly all the pieces in that software works,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I try to understand.
Right.
How the UI is connected to database, how the gateway server interacts with, and that's how I try to understand the whole architecture. And with that knowledge again, I try to understand the domain I'm related to.
Nice.
I was working in
Nice.
the insurance domain in the first company.
Yes.
So try to understand more about the domain
Mhm.
and the architecture as a whole. So this knowledge helped me in the second company, which again ended up in the same technology, but it was advanced version of the same. I started with the Sable 6, which was
Mhm.
desktop application.
Mhm.
Later it was Sable 8, which was a browser based.
Okay.
And even browser based, I mean, it was only IE. And later on, the recent version is OpenUI, Sable OpenUI, which
Okay.
supports almost all the browsers.
Yeah.
So that knowledge, what I try
Mhm.
to understand, I mean, with architecture or domain knowledge helped me in the subsequent work I was doing.
Okay, great. I um, I I think this is one of the ways of going deep. Uh, so we all are testing the UI. Yes.
Could you repeat what you just said in a compressed way so an audience can clearer?
Okay, sure. They're asking for it.
Please repeat question.
Yeah, please repeat the question. Okay. So I asked how else are people going deep, and I didn't get your name. Sudha, talked about her experience of Siebel, that she was testing for 4 years, and she was testing on the UI layer, and then did you get bored or something like that?
Yes,
Oh, you got bored? You got bored. Okay, nice, nice. You get bored sometimes at the surface. You got, she got bored, and then she started to investigate, how is this UI connected to the database? What is the architecture? Is it Siebel 6, Siebel 7, and all that stuff? And I was telling that, that's one way of going deep. Although you shouldn't wait to the point that you get bored and you try that. Yeah, okay, that you and I know about it. So, and I was bringing my experience out there that many testers are stuck at the UI. Okay, they're like, oh, there are bugs in the UI. But you know what? There are sharks hiding behind. The fish that you're catching at the surface is not going to do any harm to this world. Probably, but there would be once in a while the sharks show up in the shore. So if you want to catch the sharks, okay, metaphorically, you need to go to some level of depth in terms of a technology. I've had this question. I've been having this question even within my own company. I go to my testers. Okay, they know that I challenge them left, right, center every Sunday. They wake up and they're like, wow, What's this guy going to send, right? Um, I think that we are looking at just the UI because we are too comfortable with the UI, and we don't know the technology that's behind. Okay, for example, in one of the projects that I worked on, it took them about 4 to 6 months to discover that one of the production issue was because there was a JavaScript disabled and they didn't know about it. And they were too happy with the testing that they were doing at the UI layer, and nobody focused on that. Now, you know what? You know what a good team effort is? You say, you're very good at scanning the surface. You stay at the surface. You're very good at the 50 meters of depth. You're good at 1 kilometer. Yes? The stream is offline right now. It's back? It's back. Okay, great. So, so a good team would comprise of people who are taking positions in terms of the depth and saying, I'm good at this, you're good at this, you're good at this, you're good at this, you're good at this. But the way we have built teams, in this world is everybody does the same thing. Everybody are at the same depth. Everybody is asked to go only at a certain way, and I think that is detrimental to the overall objective of calling somebody a team. Of course they want 11 all-rounders. Of course they want 11 Dhonis in the team, right? For those of you who are watching online and you don't know cricket, or you don't watch cricket, you don't follow cricket, and you don't know about Dhoni, you should know him. That's all I would say, right? So, so yes, of course, India would love to have 11 players all like Dhoni. But then the reason Dhoni shined is because of the team. Without that kind of a team, Dhoni wouldn't shine. So, in my opinion, testers want to go deeper. A, if they become bored. B, if they are pushed. C, if there is no other option. D is they are fired. Right? E is if they are, I'm trying to make up. Right? to their perception of growth. Or E is if if going to the depth gives them more money. Right? Now that's also related. Is F if they have a home loan, a car loan, okay, things like that, then they want to go deeper. Hey, yeah, I want to learn APM. All this knowledge says, okay, but now I have a home loan, and if I don't learn APM, I'm going to become irrelevant in this industry, and hence I want to do this. So there are different reasons that people want to go deeper, but ideally the reason should have been, you and I know about it, that I want to go deep. Yes. The passion, the vision. Now, on this topic, why do you think we are not developing passion for the space? Why aren't enough people passionate in testing? So there's a question from somebody, which I will answer. It says, hi Pradeep, what is context-driven testing? How to adapt this in our daily testing? Explain with an analogy or an example. Question by Manjunath. And then there is, hi sir, why less openings for testing freshers? Subbareddy. I will definitely come to that, Subbareddy, please. Just like what I should do is, just like all the TV channels that you watch, keep watching. I'll come back after a break. No. Right? So, yes, I will answer those questions. So, okay, Jaswant, please keep highlighting these questions. I will read them and I will address it in a subtle way. Okay, so we were discussing about why aren't we developing passion in the testing space. It's because of, in my opinion, a couple of reasons. One is, what do you think is the incentive to go deep? What is the incentive to go deep? What is the incentive? So, for example, does the world care if you become or not become a test expert? Does the world really care? No, it does not. Do you care? That's what it matters. Do you care? Because as I said, it's lonely out there. We as humans are more groupist people. We have a bigger herd mentality than all the animals we eat. Right? Okay, the moment I say, oh, I'm from, I'm a Kannadiga. Okay, people in the audience, oh, Nanu Kannadiga. See, this is like instant connection. And I say, I speak something in, let's say, Telugu. It's like, oh, okay, ekkadi nunchi babu. They build on instant connection. So like that, we don't want to feel alone. We don't want to feel lonely. We always want somebody to be with us. Even if they are wrong, you are wrong, that's it. It doesn't matter. You just want some company because it's boring. If you start to enjoy testing, you will not feel lonely. So you would have seen in, be it movies, be it in the general way, the geeks are projected, they're all to themselves. They don't talk to others in the world. They're on headphones. They're on computer, mostly Mac, very rarely Windows, right? And they are continuously chatting, or code, or they're coding. So even if you go to conferences, you'll see them sitting and coding. And I'm like, oh, what do I do with these people, right? So in our space, we all don't know the incentive. And we all, because the more young we are, we look for incentives. Okay? We all want appreciation. How many of you don't want appreciation? We all want appreciation. Okay, you don't want appreciation?
No, I don't want to be punished for doing it.
Oh, you don't want to be...
Appreciation is still okay.
No appreciation? Okay, you don't want to be punished. Oh, awesome. Yeah, as I told you, right? Okay, so as you spoke about punishment, let me ask you this question. What is the problem with punishment? What is the problem with punishment?
Nothing's problem with the punishment.
Yeah.
When you do something, when I test something, it's for the betterment of the product and my intention to do better to it.
Yeah.
The person is, you want to reach to the depth, solve it so that product is more stable.
Right.
So then it's like, as you said, fishing out the people from the depth and throwing out of the sea.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
So those kind of experiences, see, when you are going to the depth, you are not moving ahead like others.
Right.
You don't know a lot of things. You know only one thing and you are going, probably that is how my nature is.
Okay.
So that's all.
Okay, so yes, that's a good point. That the moment this has been my most awesome discovery about life. I love this discovery, and I'm so super glad you triggered me to share this with you all. The moment somebody says, I want to give you feedback, come inside that room, your mind goes off. Your mind never thinks that saying that, oh, he's going to share something great about me. But your mind says all the wrong things. Oops. The first thing is like, oops, wait a minute. And then your body starts to prepare. Okay, you say, okay, Pradeep, if it's going to be firing, be ready for it. Don't cry in front of that guy. Right? Don't cry in front of that guy. Cook up one masala story. Blame it on others. All options on the table. And depending on your ego level, you are ready with one, revolver. You go into the meeting room like this. You're like the old cowboys. It's like, what? Wait a minute. What did you say? What did you say? Right. So I think that people either go with full self-defense, or people are ready to be slayed, like saying, okay, I'm all yours. I'm all yours. Oh God, in my next life, which is my next company, I hope I get some good people around. And you, bow. Because we have traditionally feared feedback. Because anytime somebody has talked to us about feedback has only been about the bad things. So the moment we say, I want to give you a feedback, you'll out. One. Okay. The second thing is our reaction to feedback. I think that we don't want to learn where we are wrong. We always want that the confirmation that we are doing good, we are doing good, we are doing good, we are doing good, we are doing good. Now, what is trending in Facebook is this. What is this? Saraha, right? Okay, Saraha, and people are both happy and afraid about going to Saraha. Somebody can say something about you, or okay, somebody say something positive about you, which means others' opinion matters too much to you. So if they think you're not doing good, you would either disagree with them, or you would try to defend yourself, or you would try to not get into that situation at all. So I tell this as a tester. If as a tester you can't do too much damage to the company, right? Excluding mullions, right? Anything you do directly impacts the company. Okay, yeah. So as testers, if you can damage the whole company, that means you should be highly paid. You have such a big responsibility, right? You have such a big responsibility. One bug you miss, the whole of Google falls down. Okay, how much should you be paid? You should be paid more than Sundar Pichai, because you can make Sundar Pichai Pichai. If that's the power that you hold, but your lack of understanding of testing makes you afraid of punishment. It's not the lack of anything else. It's the more you are aware, your fear goes off. So every time you encounter a situation that somebody is giving you a feedback, telling you what you have done sucks big time, you should retrain your brain to smile first. You can't do anything about it. You just smile and say, okay. Now, while I say this, it has taken me many, many years to get here. But if you have the intent, you will get there someday. So the first thing is the intent and your awareness of the testing itself. Okay, for example, do you think there can be a bug-free product? Yes or no? How many people still in the world say, I'm working towards a bug-free product? Where have you ever come across such product? In software. If God is the ultimate, look at what God has created. We are all extreme buggy products. Extreme buggy products. What kind of diseases, what kind of problems, what kind of mental issues, what kind of fears? Where is the perfect human being? When there are no perfect human beings, where can ever be a perfect software? Which is, if you have not read the book Perfect Software and Other Illusions by Jerry Weinberg, it's high time you read this. So, if you have screwed up idea in your mind of testing, you will be screwed. And when you're screwed, you will be screwed. Testing will not be screwed. And the way to root it out is to say, yeah, sure, I don't know a lot of stuff. When do you want to be an expert? I want to be an expert maybe several years from now, but even then I will not know so many more things. But in relative to how I was, I might be better. I might look like an expert, I might sound like an expert. But at the same time, I don't think you should be afraid or you should fear failure or a feedback that tells you what you are missing. Oh, by the way, when James Bach coached me, it was very intense. To James Bach, I was a guinea pig. So he used to experiment a lot of things on the guinea pig. Okay, I'm going to bring in a different, better analogy right now. I wasn't a guinea pig, I was a chimpanzee. Now, James Bach was like the guy experimenting. You have seen the rise of the Planet of the Apes, right? Yeah, okay. Now, I could have easily been a Koba, okay, but instead I chose to be a Caesar. So I was probably one of those Indian testers who started to speak out, and everybody looked at me as the chimpanzee talking. No, that's true. That's true. So it's okay. It's okay. People can see me as a chimpanzee. And it's like, how can a chimp speak? Like, how can an Indian tester be so bold and so honest? How is it possible? Isn't our upbringing against this? Right? Okay, I talk about my company failures publicly. When I'm sending my corporate deck to a customer, I have my failures listed in there. How is it possible? Aren't we supposed to only tell the good side of what we do or what we have done? I think everybody knows that everybody has failed at some point of time and they keep failing. That's the reality. If somebody is looking for perfection, they are trying to find a star in the ocean because they see the reflection of it in the night, or maybe something like that. They're saying, I've seen many stars in the ocean. In the night, they come on the surface. In the day, they go inside. That's why you're not able to see it. So, there's a tendency for people to fear failure. When I was talking about what James Bach was doing to me, is he and Michael Bolton was repeatedly exposing me to my own failures. And I have cried. I've cried. Of course I've cried. But it's not just about that. It's about what I did after I ended my crying. That matters. Because everybody cries. Everybody are human beings. They will cry. But what you do after you're done with crying matters quite a lot. So, when someone is telling you that you have massive holes in your brain, it definitely hurts. You know why it hurts? Because your perception is that you don't have any holes. Okay? That's the reason why it hurts. But if you go with a mind, with an open mind, with a partially open mind, if it's too open, they will fill all the garbage inside you. So you should know which window to open, when to open, how much to open. Okay, that's what it is. So, if you have a partially open mind, you will not say that there are no holes in my brain. You will say there are holes. There are holes in my thought process, not in the brain. Okay, there are holes in my thought process. And it's possible that the person who's giving me a feedback would be telling that, oh, that's what it is. Yeah, sure. Okay. So it could be a blind spot. When you discover a blind spot, you should be super excited about it. Wow, awesome. So for example, I asked, okay, Nitesh Chopra, do you know what's his Scott Barber? Because he has solved half the problems that you want to solve, which you might take 5 years, and you can crunch that, okay, put it into a capsule, eat that, digest it, and become more smarter than Scott Barber. I want to see people like Nitesh Chaube to become the next person who has gone to a further depth and is helping 1,000 people who want to go to the depth get there faster, because they can go deeper than what you have gone, and they can pull in 1,000 more people, each one of them. Right? So, in that sense, we must be aware that we are not completely good enough. We will not be completely good enough. And when someone says, you missed this, you missed this, if they understand that a human sometimes will miss this, it's good for them and for you. And if you're ready to learn from it. But if they don't understand, it's like, how dare you miss this bug? I mean, this keeps happening. This happened just yesterday. Just yesterday. I was dealing with this. Just yesterday. How dare you miss this bug? Oof. Okay, we missed it. I acknowledged. Yeah, we missed it. What do we do next? Do we spend the next 3 hours fighting about it? Or do we limit the damage by saying, can we spend the next 3 hours investigating if there are more problems like these? More problems that we can find like these. But, however, you know why we don't want to say this or don't know to say this? It's because we are taking every feedback very personally. It's like yesterday was Janmashtami. I'm Lord Krishna. How can you say something wrong about Lord Krishna? How can you say that? How can you say that? So we take it too personally, and we fail to talk about real problem. You exist as a tester because of a business. If something happens to the business, they will try to find who is accountable for it. Now, if you have said that I've tested all of these things, and in that you missed something because you said you have tested, but you have not tested, and that something somebody catches, then you have an ethical issue. You need to correct your ethics. If you have tested it and you said, okay, everything looks okay, and somebody made a release. When they made a release, they made a small environment change which changed the whole stuff that you tested. Why do you need to take it about it? You say, let me investigate and get back to you. Which is what I did. I said, yes, we missed this big thing. It was like a big thing. But wait, why do you think we missed this? What do you think would have changed from the time that we tested this? That something that we tested worked here, but on the production it's not working. It's a learning opportunity that maybe your test server is not as mirrored as it should be of the production server. So it's an opportunity for you to plug the hole. But if you start to take it personally, you deviate the time. It's like what happens in the roads in India. If there's an accident, instead of saving the patient, everybody gets on and say, your fault, and that person starts to fight. And the person who's actually dying is let to die. What is more important? Saving the person or arguing whose mistake it was? Saving the person. So what we should do is we should look at what is more important, saving the business or arguing who is right and who is wrong. First, let's save the business. Then we have all the time to discuss who is wrong, why they went wrong, do they need to be fired, do they need to be trained better, and all of these things. But our brain is not wired that way. The moment I give a feedback about somebody, they forget the business, they forget everything else, two things are in front of them: a bank loan. Yeah, that's true, right? A bank loan and your credit card bill. So all our decisions are based on that. Our decisions are not based on the business. So if people keep making these decisions and people stop focusing on the business, then eventually the company will slow down. And when the company slows down, it comes back and eat your own job. Now, when there's a direct connection between what you do and what happens, you are very careful about it. And there's an indirect connection which you don't see. It's an invisible cord that's attaching you and something else. You don't see it. So you are meddling with it. You are cutting your own cord. This is not just with you, your boss, or everybody in the company. If they don't know the impact of what they are doing to the growth of the company, they will do things which are damaging. If they know the impact, they will do things which are very productive, very useful, and helpful for the growth of the company. So if you look at it, our own human nature is not allowing us to go deep. Because you know what? If you miss a bug, it's the most wonderful learning opportunity about testing, about your own testing. And so you have actually come here or you're watching online to improve yourself as a tester. I think that if you care so much, then you should care about your own testing education. So when someone comes to you and you missed this bug, I was like, wow, really? When the day we learn to respond like this, we have become an expert, because everybody in the surface would be like, oh. And you would be the only person who will say, wow, I missed it. When you give a reaction like this, the person giving feedback will be blinded by what to do now, because he or she is expecting you to cry. He or she is expecting you to cry or get a little bit disappointed or show a very sad face or attack. Now, what you're doing is you're removing all of that and you're saying, now what? Now what? Or there is another approach that you can take to say, can you help me not do this again? Boop. You're asking for help to a person who wants to attack you or wants to give you some stuff to make you feel a little bit XYZ. So you would rather say, hey, I need your help. Because as long as you are there in that company, you're trying to support the growth of the company. That's what your mission is. So how are you supporting the growth of the company? Your chosen path to support the growth is by testing. And it is also your responsibility to help people, to influence people, to be aware of what is testing and what is not, and what should be considered as actually good enough, and the idea of perfection is the wrong thing. It's all supposed to come from you. They've hired you because they don't have that learning. But instead, you're taking instructions from them, you're taking everything from them. That's the reason why you're also not learning. They're also not benefiting. Now the reason why in a lot of companies that there was a general perception, there was a lot of parity. Right now it's kind of reduced. When I was a fresher, I still am a fresher. Now I'm an experienced fresher, right? So when I was a fresher, my salary and the developer's salary, there was a 4x difference. 4x, right? So why? Because the value, the developers do something which is tangible, seeable. You do something invisible. How much will you pay a magician? How much will you pay a magician? You won't pay $1 billion to a magician, right? You'll pay $1 billion to somebody who automates, where you see something tangible. The intangible is far more valuable, but only if you can okay, project that value out. The hardest part in testing is to find out what the value is and projecting it to the right people and influencing the right people to make the right decisions. Now, okay, look at how many times I use the word right. And if one of these things go wrong, even though right approach, right testing, wrong people, boop, it's useless. Right testing, right approach, right people, wrong timing, boop. So it's like, okay, too many things that have to come together to make it work, okay, just like everything else. But at the same time, okay, I think you should see these as learning opportunities, because this is one reason why it's not letting you go deeper. Okay, because instead, if you focus the discussion on what can we do better, you can go deeper. If you focus the discussion on you, saying, no, she didn't let me, I was complaining, I escalated, I told my lead is like that, I was not given the document, I was not given the opportunity, I have been a better tester, my last year rating was 5. All of these can pull you down. Okay, pull you down in the sense, okay, metaphorically, I have to reverse the word now. It can pull you up, right? It can actually pull you up. So that's what it is. So when you face okay, a failure like that, or when you should be more happy about it. And when you smile, it's like, okay, smiling because you're going to the depth, because that's what you want to do. If you don't want to go to the depth, and as I actually told you, then you should be at the surface. And if you're at the surface, and I'll actually tell you this, if you're a low paid okay person in any company, whatever mistakes you do, they say, it's okay, right? So okay, companies look to fire a CEO more often than a tester there. True, right? So I think that if you want to be at the surface, don't expect growth, don't expect money, don't expect anything. You just be okay with anything anybody says, as long as they let you be on the surface. And there are plenty of jobs on the surface. And for somebody who asked, okay, what were the questions they're asking? Why are there, Subba Reddy says, hi sir, why less openings for testing freshers? There are plenty of openings, number of openings. This is the way we think, is just because we didn't get a job, we think, oh, there's very few. I mean, in Mulya, we keep hiring okay freshers every 3 months, 4 months, and there are many companies like this. We are just one small minuscule in this whole ocean. Just one, we are just a pipette tube or something like that. That's all it. We're just there. There are many companies out there. Okay, one. The second thing is, okay, look at it. There are so many people at the surface. Okay, everybody is putting their head down and saying, okay, to the people who are actually deep, okay, take me deep. Why? Why should I take you deep? Right? Okay, for example, if I say, I mean, just as an example, okay, Nitish, okay, Chaube, it's like he's putting in all the efforts, he's making great efforts, he's passionate, he has demonstrated that. I think if I'm deep and he wants my help, I will actually take him deep. I mean, just to give you an example, right? James Bach, if you approach him saying, please coach me, it looks like you coach Pradeep and the chimpanzee, okay, turned out to be good. Can I be your next chimpanzee? James Bach would give you some test. And he says 99% of the people run away when I give the test, because it's too hard. And so his way of filtering is this person ready to put in the effort that's required, where this person deserves going to the depth, or this person dares to go to the depth, or does this person have the energy to go to the depth? Okay, because you might be happy in the surface, I might actually pull you down, and you might get killed. So even I should be careful, and even you should be careful of asking, do you want to Or do you want to go deep? So for all those people looking out for a job in the testing space, be it a fresher, be it experienced, none of us are quantifying and qualifying why should I be given the job. There are thousands of options there. There are, for a freshers, I mean, okay, millions of options. But why you, Subbareddy? Can you answer that? Okay, let me say. I'll tell you what is the most frequent response, right? Because I'm a hard worker. Do you think you would be the only hard worker? There are thousands of freshers who will say, I'm a hard worker. Millions of them. Then you will say, I'm sincere. Who wants a job who's not sincere? Everybody will say, I am sincere. Okay? So you would say, I've learned manual testing and automation testing from this institute. That institute has produced thousands of people. How are you different? The day you can quantify and qualify that you are really different, you would find a person who wants to work with you.
What do you mean by quantify?
Okay, quantify. Okay, for example, okay, so I'm a fresher. Okay, you are asking me this question. There are millions of freshers. Why should I hire you? Okay, I say, because I don't care whether you give me a job or not. I want to go deep. I want to learn. I don't care if you give me a job or not. I want to go deep. I want to learn. You are one of my options. So for you, I am one of your options. The way we go and attend the job interview is as though the person on the other side of the table is the Bhagwan, is the giver, and you are the taker. Well, it's not true. You are in mutual exchange. They want something to be done, you want to do that, and that's the exchange. Right? So now you get the answer, right? It is when I say, I'm your servant, I'm your best servant. There are many people who would say that. But instead, you might want to say what you truly mean. And I'll tell you this, why it's hard for people to say that. You can't fake courage. Right? You can't fake courage. You can fake anything else. You can't fake courage. You can't go and sit in front of an interviewer like Amitabh Bachchan in Agnipath and say, hi, Amitabh, hi, I catch it. Right? You can't do that. You say, oh, if I do that, what will the interviewer think? I need a job, my loan. Right? This is what is troubling you. But you have to go there and say, okay. I don't care about the loan. It's the bank who cares about it. Right? The best they would do is to not give me a loan again, which is okay. I can live on my own. I want to find a team or a colleague to work with who will help me go to the depth. If that's your focus, you would interview the interviewer. You would interview the interviewer. You would interview the company. You would say, look, okay, wait. Okay, Mulya wants to hire a tester. You would not say, please take me. Okay, please take me. You'll say, well, I need to talk to people here. Are they passionate? Okay, you'll talk to Nitesh Chaubey. Okay, Nitesh, okay, tell me what all you do here. He'll say, oh, I'm assigned to projects. I go and do my project and come back. Like, where? Okay, then you'll say, so have you read a book recently? Have you talked to people? What do you want to become? Do you know about Scott Barber? Do you know about Rahul Verma? Do you know about all these people? And he says, no. Then you should run away from this company. You should say, oh, bah, I'm glad I didn't join this company. Because people here are not passionate. And if you come and join here, you will become one of those non-passionate people, which is dangerous for you, which is absolutely dangerous for you. So people ask, someone is asking, I have an impression that demand for testers, including deep testers in the software industry, is diminishing. Developers do the testing, Google, Facebook. Okay, companies prefer to hire SDETs, automation developers. They prefer to rely on testing in production, get feedback from customers, and then apply fixes quickly, which is the DevOps. James Whittaker coined the phrase testing is dead. I think it's Alberto Savio in this context. Why go deep in testing if the market does not appreciate this? What's your take on this? Awesome question. Yeah, Stas Wasserman. Although you have to help me pronounce that, I'm gonna connect with you. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Stas, great question. So why do we need to go deeper when the industry doesn't seem to bother about it? Great question. There is definitely a perception that the testing is shrinking. There is definitely a perception. Now, if testing is shrinking, I'm looking at the number of leads Mulya is getting. There are a lot of companies struggling and suffering. Stas, I want to share this with you. I know a company in India which hired a CTO from Google. And this CTO came and said, "What? Manual testers? We don't do it this way in Google." And they try to remove all the testers, vendors, their own testers, and everybody were asked to convert to either convert to this religion of programmers, or you die. I don't care about you. In about 3-4 days, all the testers were called back. This story is not being told outside for several reasons. In 4 or 5 years from now, I want to say which company is this. So I think that yes, people are trying to shrink it, and some people have tried to have actually shrunk the size of the the testers, but that's not necessarily happening. We have to look at why it's happening. The reason why it's happening is because there haven't been enough testers who have gone deep to show the value. There aren't enough deep testers to show the value. For example, what people like a James or a Michael or the context-driven testing community, or even from the other communities, whoever thinks deep, irrespective of the community they belong to, they have been talking about testers provide business value. What is the business value they provide? Executing test cases is the smallest of the business value. I've challenged my own team, and I keep doing that, saying if you are doing what somebody who is lesser experienced, who needs to be paid less, can do the same task, why would I need to pay you so much? It's simple, right? And this is how every businessman have to think. Even if you start a business, you'll think that way, because you want to improve your profitability, because you can reinvest the profitability to go deeper in the business, right? So the question is about why is this happening? Stas, I want to tell you this. Wherever testers have proven the business value, there are the so-called manual testers are actually retained. And I must tell you, Stas, what Google is doing, what Apple is doing, what they are publishing outside and what they do in reality is two different things. And I'm telling this to James Whittaker. James Whittaker talks about testing is dead. Let's assume he was talking about this long ago. I know the IE browser testing was outsourced to a company in India, from Microsoft. Do you know what they outsourced? They outsourced opening the top 5,000 links. The top 5,000 browsed links in the world. There is a team of testers who open the link, see if everything loads in the page, go to the next link. the most boring testing job I've ever seen in the world. There is a 19-member testing team for this. And Amit, okay, you and I should know, this 19-member testing team, they were billing $1 million just for this. So Microsoft hires the best of the thinkers and will not ask them to do this. And Microsoft knows about automation, and Microsoft has built multiple tools for automation, but they think that there is no replacement to human eyes. Okay? And what I did was I went to this company, this Indian IT services company, and said, this is not a testing job at all. This is not a testing job at all. And they say, but it's $1 million. But it's $1 million. Now I'll tell you, it is a testing job. And you can make it smarter. You can make it more fun. But not the way they were doing it. So I think all of these companies, now, do you know, okay, Apple outsources their iTunes page, okay, testing to a company in India. The iTunes.com or okay, whatever that is tested in a company somewhere close by, let's say, not too far away. Okay? Apple does not do manual testing. You know what? Apple does a lot of manual testing. When you upload an app into the App Store, why do they take 7 days to approve the app? What do you think happens in the background? 7 days. They take the app, they pass it through different tests. There will be a part of automation test. There will also be some manual checks here and there. And then they approve it, okay, to go into the App Store. So all of these companies, so if I'm Google, I was in the Google I/O conference about 2 months ago. And I met this guy, this awesome guy, Jason Arbon. He's now a founder CEO of AppDiff. He was a manual tester in Google. Okay, till about last year or maybe 2 years ago. And he came out and he said, Google never talks about manual testing, but I know what's happening inside. There is a plenty of manual testing that's happening inside, but they don't want to talk about it because they want to sound today, tomorrow. I don't think, but at the same time, I'm not saying that the jobs are not shrinking. The jobs are shrinking, and I want to tell you this, okay, Stas, if you're still listening, the jobs are shrinking for the good. The jobs are shrinking for the good. Now, in about 2 to 3 years, those who have not gone deep will be wiped out. Will be wiped out. I can see the trend coming. Okay, for example, what we are building in Apache. The first time that I saw a little bit of AI in work, I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. In Mulia, okay, people were doing this app performance testing for Android. And it takes about at least 8 hours to 12 hours for a skilled person to generate a report for one device. There are products like Apache, there are platforms like Apache which can do it in 15 minutes across 25 devices and crunch the data and provide you a deeper analysis of what's wrong, why it went wrong. I can track all the regression issues, a lot of these things. Now you may ask, so what is the role of an app performance tester? There is still a role. As a person building Apache, I'm slowly discovering that 1 or 2 pieces that only humans can do. And that is at the depth. if most people, when they scratch the surface and say, I also do performance analysis for Android apps, just because they connect the USB cable to the Android Studio or some tool, they get some logs, they start to sort out the logs. It doesn't mean they must know Android to the core. They must know performance to the core. They need to be constantly plugged into the changes that Google is pushing out. They need to know a lot more. And you can imagine this. When this is happening, and if you are the person who has gone to the depth, you are going to be in hot demand. And companies are going to come and please you. Please, we have a great company, great office, great culture. I mean, that's the way these big companies like a Google or a Facebook. I mean, why do you want to go there? Because it's like your life is settled. I mean, I've heard, I've read, I've seen that there are some people who don't even need a house if they are working in Google, because shower, spa, sleeping pods, everything is available inside. Why would you want to rent a place, and especially in a place like a California, where the rent is super duper high? Why would you want to do that? So these companies are projecting one image outside. The reality is different, but at the same time, it is actually shrinking. And to Stas, I want to tell you this awesome stuff. The AI that I have seen in action, the little bit of the AI that I've seen in action, the tip of the iceberg of the AI that I've seen in action is actually automating the automation itself. So when people are saying, I want to be good in writing APM scripts, do you know, in about a year, you would not even need to write a script, right? And you know what will be left? What will be left is manual testing. And that's what I meant, metaphorically, when I said, if I remove that board below, many people will go deep, but they'll be dead. And after a few days, their body will start to float. And still they'll be on the surface only. So it's a momentary depth that they can't experience, probably. I don't know about depth yet, right? So this is exactly what's happening. Any more questions that are actually coming online? Great.
I don't think you answered the first question. What is context-driven testing?
Okay, so what's context-driven testing?
How do I help this?
Okay, what is context-driven testing? Okay.
Manjunath.
Okay, Manjunath, I'm definitely going to be addressing this. Please keep watching. I'm trying to sequence a flow of thoughts, right? Okay, great. So yes. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, great. When a company doesn't care, why we should do that? Awesome, great. When a company doesn't care to do great, why should we do that? The day you have realized that, you got to move out. I know there are a lot of other factors. It's not just this factor that matters. Maybe that company is close by to your place. You like the team, but the question again comes to you: are you ready to not go to the depth? Because the longer you stay there, the more they are going to make you feel happy about staying on the surface, or staying at whatever level of the depth you are. Yeah. 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 Okay. 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 Great question. It is your responsibility to create the space, because the space is not given to you in a platter. For anybody who is going deep, why do people Why are people not going deep? Is because the challenges of going deep is higher and higher at every level. So, if you are in a startup, it's a too busy mode, and there is no time to learn, there is no time to do a lot of these things, right? It's your opportunity to create the space where you say, look, we look to be going right now. You're like the captain of the ship. You got to say, I see an iceberg coming. Okay? I see an iceberg coming, and I think we need to change course a little bit by 1 degree, by 2 degree. Okay, and you can propose saying that, please, can you hire more testers? Okay, can I get an assistant tester? Can we expand our team a little bit? Can we get some support? Now, you know, okay, as a startup, what the classic stuff they'll say? No money. No money. You know what you got to say? No problem. There are people like, let's say, Subba Reddy, who is looking out for a job, for an experience, who would come and who would work as your assistant, who would do a few things that you're doing, who can free up your time to think larger picture.
We have tried that, but when we try to hire our intern, we are like supposed to teach them. It's not that they are not like, they are not fast enough to develop.
Yeah.
And we have to teach them since like we are stuck with the other tasks
Yeah.
because they have releases.
Yeah,
We
nice.
have to spend more time on them.
Good.
But if we get, and moreover, we don't have a process or documentation, we don't have a steps to someone to learn independently.
Yeah.
We have to like, everything is a verbal communication, we have to just tell them that's how it works, and the DB and the server, these are the configuration has to be done
Yeah.
to work this feature.
Yeah.
So there are many things like we just jumbled up.
Yeah.
It's like many dependencies on a person,
Yeah.
and this kind of environment I deal with every day.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether I'm doing a deep testing or I never touched or I'm still on surface.
Yeah.
I'm sure that I'm not on surface.
Yeah.
At least I'm at some level.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know how to go into deep.
Okay.
When you say in a deep,
Mm-hmm.
when I go to deep, I'm not sure whether when you go to scuba diving, you have an intention that you will be seeing a very good wave.
Right.
That's the reason of a scuba diving.
Yeah.
So when I go into deep, if I'm not seeing a good wave,
Yeah.
what is the
Well, what's the point, right?
into my life?
Exactly.
So that's like you need a guide for that.
Yeah.
But I don't know how long it will take and how much effort I should put to along with my guide. I mean the mentor.
Yeah.
I don't know these clarities. I just want these clarities. How can I go with that?
Okay.
So when you say, sorry, I'm disturbing you again.
No, 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 please.
I have many questions to ask.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So when I started career, it's like just 2 years I have done work my testing career.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been working in startups. This is my second company I'm working now.
Mm-hmm.
So I know this. I started the manual, still I'm in manual.
Okay.
But, I think that there are many phases of the testing. There could be API or there is a console and this company I'm currently checking the consoles and
Mhm.
logs where I don't have a guide or senior who can guide me. I'm just learning myself.
Okay.
But still I feel that there are things which I should learn
Mm-hmm.
to reach to depth.
Yeah.
So when you say depth, it's not as directly going to depth.
Correct.
It could be stages like checking the logs on which if you give it any exceptional log, this could be a cause of this code. You say not for an exception,
Mm.
this is the cause of the code. You're doing that. So this kind of things I don't know how to learn. I'm just stucking. I'm just like grasping something, but I'm not sure whether it's correct or not.
Hmm.
So these things like this confusing in my mind.
Whom do you report to in this company? Okay, the CTO directly, or the VP engineering, whoever.
CTO is like a monthly deal,
Okay.
but every part I speak to manager.
Okay. So is that person a so-called dev manager, DevOps manager? Okay, who is the manager?
That is our testing team.
Oh, so you have a test manager. You have a test manager. Okay, how many testers do you have in the team?
We have some big things like
11.
yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. 11 is a huge team.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so have you discussed these issues with your team?
I didn't
Okay,
fight.
great.
I do fight with manager.
You do what?
Fight?
Fight. No, my question was, do you discuss, not fight?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I discussed.
Okay, you discuss. Great. Okay. So, what do you say when you're discussing? I mean, like for example, oh, I'm your manager, right? Okay, tell me the way you would actually tell your manager of okay what the problem is.
Yeah, I wrote a detailed email to him.
Yeah.
The issues I'm facing.
Yeah.
Along with the solution. These are things I wanted. At least, when I joined, I was not sure how to check the logs. So
Okay.
I was very confused. That was very embarrassing moment for me. So I told them I just want one person to just tell me that how to check the logs and
Yeah.
which are the logs are important to notify the technical and
Okay.
which are ignorable.
Yeah.
So I just asked for help. Just a half an hour to give me time for one who is senior, not
Mhm.
exactly
Yeah.
senior or one who's good at work.
Yeah.
So he said, okay, we'll be doing that. But it never happened because when I asked him, he said everyone's busy. At the same time, I feel like when I go to him because he's stuck with something with the rules.
Yeah.
So that's happening.
Okay. Great. So I think you are at a great place. I'll tell you why. Because a place where things are not happening is also a great place for learning. Okay. But you're learning. Okay. People keep saying, "Oh, I have learned." Experience is the teacher. Experience. If experience was a teacher, we should have had more experts today. But we don't. The reason is that when such a thing is happening to you, of you're not getting the support that you need, and people are talking about, hey, everybody's busy. Of course, everybody is busy, right? But if this does not happen, the learning stagnates, and if people are not learning, then you put in another member in the team. That person will be half as good as you, and you put in another person. That person will be half as good as the person who is working with you, and that way the quality keeps dropping. Learning, while a lot of companies don't realize this, learning, and if people are talking about, I don't have time to teach somebody, that organization will be dead soon. How can an organization grow if somebody is asking for a support and that support is not given to them? Right? While I'm saying that, I don't completely mean that their intent is wrong. Their intent is right. Of course, everybody is busy, there is a release and all that stuff. So as I told, the release is a visible cord. So everybody is attached to it. Nobody wants to cut that. But learning is an invisible cord. The growth of the team is an invisible cord. The speed at which the team can do, if 5 minutes a developer talks to the testers and says this is how you can analyze the log, will be phenomenal. So what you should say? You should say, I will take the responsibility to coach all testers who are joining this team once I have learned anything that I've learned. So if the developer is too busy and he doesn't have time, which also means that tomorrow if we are adding more testers, he will not have time to coach every tester. So here is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be taking the responsibility of sharing whatever I learn from all the team members here. So I need access to the team. One. The second thing is, we are used to asking for permission to do good things. Right? This is a bigger killer than the whale and the shark. Can I do this? Can I do this? I'm trying to see a poster where we have actually. I think there is a poster somewhere here that if you need to ask permission to do something good, then this company will die soon. I think you should go to the developer and say, dude, I need this help from you. You don't need to ask for permission for it. You want to learn something. You want to contribute value. You're not going to him and say, okay, stop programming, teach me guitar, right? You're saying, hey, this log, if I were to analyze this log better, my bug reporting is going to improve, and if my bug reporting improves, your bug fixing, okay, also improves, okay, because I can misguide you by writing a wrong bug report. So you should go direct and okay, talk to people, okay, or you figure out a time where they're not busy. It is a joke, you know, if somebody says they are absolutely busy, they don't have time for anything. It's a joke. It's a thing that's told to. It's a polite way of saying no. Okay, you get a call. Okay, right now when you're in training and somebody tries to sell you a credit card, you'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in a meeting." Bye. Right? So that's what it is. You have to break this invisible door. Okay, like for example, there's a glass door there, and I try to go outside, it won't let me. Okay, but the problem is not the glass door, is I have an imaginary door here. And I'm like, oh, see, I'm not able to pass through it. This imaginary door is more powerful than the glass door that you can break open by physical force. This is here. So it's harder for you to break what glass door you've actually built with your imagination. And I think we should just get up, go and say, hey, I need this. As long as you know you're doing something valuable for the company, you should feel free to do this. Now assume if you didn't have a manager. What would you do? Exactly. Now you know what? You are using your manager as that imaginary wall. That's what is happening, and that's what's happening everywhere. Everywhere. People are saying, oh, that person, I don't know what that person will say, what this person will say, and you're blocked by the way you think. Now you know what happens is it's like the way your physical body also works. I know people say, when the cholesterol builds up, there's a block that happens and the blood flow is restricted and then there's a heart attack, all of those, whatever those, people say, right? Here in your brain, in your thought process, that cholesterol is building up and creating that block. The next time, even when you want to really, think straight, you will first think about whose permission should I get? It's systematically driven into your brain. And it's not happening for the first time. It has happened so many years. That's the reason why I said that the way we test goes back to our parents and grandparents actually. The way our parents were brought up, our grandparents were, and finally it will go back to chimpanzees. So, I think that you should break open that and say, oh, if the manager was not there, I would go get the access. If I get the access, I deliver more value to the startup. And please note, if somebody is preventing your learning, you should politely tell them, I want to learn. What is a way for me to learn? I want to learn. What is a way for me to learn? How many times in your experience and in my experience that people will come up and say, I want to learn, and you're blocking me from learning this? Because you know why? Because nobody is blocking you. It's you who are blocking yourselves. So, when you go back to office, I want you to think that there's no manager there. You go, you talk. Or you call the developer to have lunch with you at your office cafeteria. You don't need a computer all the time. You can say, what are the 5 things you look for when I give you this log? Right? What do you think I should be looking at? What articles should I be reading? Can you refer me to somebody who is relatively free and is a Fundu expert in this? all these questions, and then use those opportunities to grow yourself, to learn. Because, okay, let's think about what happens to you for a period of time if this conditioning happens, right? Your intent to learn the log today is awesome. Do you think it'll be the same 4 years from now? It won't. So you would become your manager, and there would be somebody who will come and ask, I want to do this. You will say, you know what? You will become the manager. Say, too busy. Now, I'll tell you this beautiful thing. We are oblivious to what we do. We are oblivious to the way we think. We don't, I mean, for example, okay, look at the biggest success of selfie cameras is because we can change the way we look. We don't like the reality. We are very careful about what picture we put out in Facebook. Right? Very careful about it. Why? Don't you know that's how you look? Because you, in front of a mirror, okay, you look the way you look, but in a selfie camera, it gives you the special effects. It makes you look really good, and that false impression comes, oh, this is how I look, this is how I look. One photo which is reality, you say, that's not a good one. So I'm saying that your intent, I agree to your intent that you don't want to be telling people that everybody is busy, go focus on, okay, what you have to do. Okay, that's your intent. But I want to tell you that I've seen umpteen number of people whose intent has been good, but they are oblivious to the things that they are doing, which over a period of time molds them into who they don't want to become. This is the biggest risk. That if you become a person that you don't want to become, you start to lose fun of yourself. And that also goes back to this, okay, selfie cameras. Fair guy. I mean, okay, so I look at it and say, oh, it looks like, I look like a German, right? I look like a German, I speak like an American sometimes, all of these things. So I think the intent, if you ask me, is, okay, you know, each one of us want to be original. But over a period of time, if it molds us, we will be, it will become, okay, tough to break open the shell. Okay, so what I'm saying is this. You become what you repeat. If you repeat conditioning, you can be conditioned. If you repeat, okay, breaking this invisible door, okay, every now and then, you will break invisible doors. So it's your choice. Okay, that's in front of you. How do you want to be? Is the way you repeat, the way you practice. Now, for example, we look at all the sports people, right? Okay, the sports people, even though they become the world champion, they go and do the net practice or whatever the practice that they do. Why? It's because they can only play if they can repeat. You can't get one great shot, okay, just because you got it, okay, last year. You have to be in touch. If you are not in touch, if you are not conditioning your body, do you drive a bike or a car or something? Do you drive a bike or a car or something? You drive a bike, right? The first day on the bike, you are very conscious, right? Once you start to learn and once it becomes your system, we'll go for lunch in 5 minutes. Once it becomes you, once a lot of things happen now, okay, subconsciously. You're not worried about where's the brake, where's the clutch, where's the gear, okay, all of these things. You are just, okay, zooming ahead. You are just, okay, free flow. But on day one, you are too conscious. One lorry crossing 5 roads away, you try to slow down on the first day. Once you get experience, you're like, even if the lorry is there, is the zoop we go. All right. That's because it has become our system, and we are oblivious to the mistakes that we do. The novices do the mistakes because of their consciousness. The experts do the mistake because they are oblivious. They are oblivious to what they are doing. So today your intent is no, I don't want to be like that. But a repeated conditioning of you will eventually make you that. So it's important for you to think that the way I behave today is what's going to help me 4 years from now. If today I'm not challenging a few things, I won't challenge 4 years from now. I will challenge much lesser stuff 4 years from now. If today I'm challenging this, tomorrow I'll be challenging something much bigger. So that's about connecting the way the humans think, the human conditioning, to the testing problems that are happening to all of us. Okay. So with that, I'm going to go for lunch, as much as you all should go have lunch, and we'll be back here by what was the time that I had actually given? I think I had given about 2 o'clock or something. 2:15. Oh, did I say 2 o'clock? Okay. So is 1 hour good for lunch? Is 1 hour good for lunch? Okay. For those who don't know about this place, there are good restaurants on the left side. If you cross the signal, there's an Udupi garden. My preferred place is that. On the right side, again when you cross the signal, you have Vaibhava, which is an old Bangalore style. A little ahead on the right and left, you have the South Indies. Huh? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can stop. Bye guys, bye. And on the and online people, you can order food online and eat. Right? Okay. See you 1 hour from now. 1 hour from now.